We are live, episode 5 of The Pulse with our lovely hosts, Derek Smith. Say hello, Derek.
Hey, yo, what up? Are you about to call yourself lovely? I'm interested in this.
Yeah, you got to be you self-confident. I'm lovely. I can be lovely and
All right.
ferocious on the table. They're
I
not
like it.
exclusive.
I like it. All right, all right.
Yeah, real quick, guys. There was a passing in me and Jacqueline's family, and this was a woman who would tune into the lives, even though she didn't know anything about arm wrestling, and just to be supportive. So I would like to dedicate this show to her, if I can. Carol, we love you. Thanks for all the support. Arm wrestling just brings people together. So with that said, we got a great show tonight. Lots of interesting stuff going on in the arm wrestling world. You guys know the deal. Derek and I run the arm wrestling subreddit, which is just a big community where you can share links, kind of like a link aggregate. You can have all kinds of conversations, and we go through a bunch of the interesting posts, give our thoughts on them, look at the community's thoughts, and of course, chat, share your thoughts as well. We got a bunch of people showing up here. Jacqueline, what's going on? Love you. Robert Gould in the building. Great job at Maine States. Just went down on Saturday. Awesome tournament. James Clark, what's happening? Everyone showing up. Good to see you guys. All right. James, great job at Maine as well. So, all right, let's get into things. Unless Derek, do you have anything you want to share first, or are you ready to rock?
No, I'm ready to rock, man. Just what's up to everybody? Hey, Jacqueline. Everybody tuning in, you guys. Excited for this week's episode. We're gonna lock down some more guests. I know some people have asked me about who we're gonna have on here. Working on it. We want someone that's good, not someone that sucks, you know. So We're just trying to find someone quality. But rest assured, guys, we're gonna have some awesome guests in here.
Yeah, we made a long list of arm wrestlers to invite, but they all sucked. So we'll keep the list private. Hopefully no one leaks it. But yeah, it's harder than you think finding I'm kidding. All right, sweet. So let's get into thing. And we had one of actually the most upvoted posts. So the way Reddit works, you make a post, and on the left here, you can see the little up arrow and down arrow. So if it gets more upvotes, it goes higher to the top of the page. If it gets more downvotes, the opposite. And this is actually one of the most upvoted posts of all time. And it is from the AMC tournament in Russia this past weekend. And it's a match between Dmitry Salayev and Vitaly Lalatin. And we saw them meet before, I think, at this tournament. And that's where Dmitry won and kind of like lit the whole arm wrestling world on fire. So I believe this is their comeback match. And we don't have the time to sit through this whole match. Spoiler alert. It is a banger. So they slip off the start. We'll just get that in. Big slip. No surprise there. And then it is a whole bunch of this. A lot of it. Vitaly takes the hand. Dmitry just sending it over and over. But Vitaly can't bring him over past center. And we do this for like 3 minutes. And then finally, we'll skip to the end. There's a couple fouls in there. Vitaly climbing the crap out of Dmitry's hand and is like, oh, finally. And you can see them both utterly destroyed. Wow. So, yeah, absolute grinder. Heck of a tournament over there. What are your thoughts there?
That match looks eerily similar to a position I've seen Vitaly in with Dave Chafee.
Right. Yeah, so he's no stranger.
Vitaly getting more comfortable in his weaknesses. I mean, he wasn't able to move Dave that well outside the shoulder and really pull through him like that. So, and Dmitry looked like he was in pretty tight. So that's impressive. That's impressive from Vitaly for sure.
Yeah. And I just love seeing Dmitry on the table again. I think he went away, had some troubles for a few years there and just disappeared. And now he's back, looks in pretty good form. So keep an eye out for him on the super heavyweight scene. We got to get him in East vs. West or something because, yeah, he's one of those freaks, man, who's going to be making a big splash. So awesome tournament there. We got another highly upvoted post. Devin, just a grainy. So maybe that a grainy picture of Devin can make it to the top of the subreddit. But look at that arm. I think that is the purpose of this. Dude, he looks ridiculous. It's insane how big he is right now. And not like pancake, just sloppy old Devin versus Michael Todd big, like healthy big.
Jack, he's always been jacked. I don't think I've ever seen a time Devin was jacked. I mean, there's skinnier and heavier versions of Devin, but always jacked, always ripped. I was always vascular and all the things. I'm jealous. He has this metabolism that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Look at those shoulders popping out of the shirt, man. The traps going. Those are some Paul Lynn traps if I've ever seen them. So, yeah, Robert, with a message on the AMC tournament, everyone's saying they faked that match. There was another one that they definitely did fake. They laid it down, but that one we just watched, there's no way that was faked. Although there was like a match of the day bonus, so maybe they made it a little more dramatic, if we can say that. But No, I think we'll actually get to the one you're referring to, Robert. So yeah, Devin looks insane. I cannot wait to see him on the table. It's going to be a good one. Another highly upvoted post. So what I'm doing now is sorting by the most upvoted posts for the past week. And then so we'll take a look at some of these. These are going to be a lot of pop culture stuff, but then we're going to get into more of the under the hood stuff. We get a lot of new arm wrestlers with questions, or even veteran arm wrestlers with questions, just kind of getting a feel for the community's thoughts on issues. How important is pronation? How do I train side pressure? Things like that. So we'll get to that. But figured we'll start off with some the biggest hits. And yeah, this is Larry 2020 versus Larry 2023, and this was him with the Korean Hulk way back on the highly inappropriate table to be arm wrestling on. And yeah, it just follows Larry's journey to where is he now? Yeah,
yeah. Thanks for that. I appreciate that skip there. I definitely was not in that video. Thank you for skipping me.
Yeah.
No. It's good. It's good. I appreciate the skip. Yeah, Larry, man. Wow, really came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So yeah, Larry's the real deal, man. There was so much like, oh, he's just an influencer trying to cash in on an untapped market with arm wrestling. Maybe that's still true, but if this is how he's going to do it by becoming a badass arm wrestler, I'm fine with it, man. Like, yeah, he's becoming the real deal,
it, man. I mean, I can tell you guys firsthand, Larry. I told everybody he was strong in the first place, especially when I went out to Dubai and spent some real time with him. And now that he's back here, he feels fantastic on the table. He's making great transitions, way more fluid on the table, and his endurance is a lot better than it was. It's actually really impressive. So big things coming. I mean, I even talked to Artem about it. Artem Chernenko recently went out and pulled with Larry, and Artem said that I think Larry's top 10 in his weight in the North America. He goes easily, like for sure. So he thinks easily top 10 at 242s, 100%. But I know Larry wants to stay in supers, actually.
He wants to stay in supers, but he's in the 242s right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's around 242 or around 242s. I mean, really, but he wants to pull supers. So
really, just because it's more of a challenge for him, or just he wants to be.
I think he just doesn't want to worry about cutting. He just wants to just eat and do whatever he wants.
Yeah. So yeah, I missed that life. Robert Gould with an interesting question. Larry's chest was too big. He looked so awkward. Presumably, he's talking about the early days. Let's see if I can get a screenshot up there. Yeah, Derek, do you think that's in it? Like, how much muscle is too much? I mean, obviously, Lupke's made it work, but it's got to be limiting once you get a certain point to where you can't really tuck your elbow in like you want to.
I mean, there's other guys that have huge chests. I mean, Jerry Cataret's a pretty big chest to do. There's guys that like get used to. You learn how to pull with it, but he was still learning how to pull and had a big chest, so it was just extra awkward at first, which I think is the case for a lot of like big benchers. You know, Scott Mendelson, Eric Spoto, Leroy Walker.
His last name, yeah.
I mean, they all have big chests. It's a little awkward at first until they figure out how to drive their elbow and where and how to slide their elbow.
Yeah, but Leonidas, another big one. Yeah, so you make it work. You find a style that works. If Jerry can do it, we can all do it. 340 pounds of mass on that dude. Next up, we have a post. I want to give credit where it's due here. The Devin one was by user SafeFix. PSM shared the Vitaly Lalatin, Dmitry Slayev one. This was by Hethical Ecker. And now we have a really interesting post by Martina Doni-AW, and he's killing it out in Italy, man. He's setting up like a whole school of arm wrestling. There's a couple posts from him here, and they have a superstar on the rise. So watch out for this girl. She is brand new to arm wrestling, and it's just, I think this is her first time on an official table, but her boyfriend's an arm wrestler, so she knows some of the technique. And long story short, she just rips through like an entire field of boys like it's nothing. So Martino, you're killing it. Have you seen his posts recently, man, out there with his?
Yeah. He's been super active. I mean, he's always been active on the subreddit right now, but I think he's putting more and more videos out. So it's good to see more content, more genuine content. Loving it.
Yeah. Grassroots stuff, man. This is how it works. Everyone at one point started as just like hey, what is this? This is interesting. And you can see in the faces here, these guys are going to be the ones who go home and be like, okay, why did I lose? I mean, some of them won't, but some of them will. And some of them are going to find the subreddit and find YouTubers, and they're just going to go down that rabbit hole that we all went down. So finding the young people like this, these are all school-aged kids. Martino, you're doing yeoman's work here, man. Keep it up.
Dude, that dude with the long hair and the glasses on the left, he's concocting something evil, though.
Dude, he's gonna be a problem.
I don't like the way he's scary, man. He's plotting something. I don't know about that guy.
He's even doing the hand.
Yeah, I don't know about that guy. That guy's scaring me, man.
Yeah, no, he's gonna go home. He's gonna do some research. He's gonna get the pen and paper out. Awesome stuff. We had this post, greatest of all time. It's just it's a comparison of John now versus Dennis, and then it's going to cut in a minute here to the old school John and Dennis. It says this is John in his prime, and there's John handling Dennis. So I like the video. It's a cool before or after and before video, but I don't agree with the implication. This is a totally different Dennis than the one we had back then, and obviously different John too. But
yeah,
yeah,
I don't think John would say that's prime John right in the yellow.
No.
Yeah. So it's hard to know when these guys are at the primes. I think a little after that, the second video is when Dennis started hitting his prime. Yeah. I don't think he was in his prime 100% right there. So yeah, I don't think they ever pulled each other in their primes. I mean, when they were both strong for sure, but not in their primes.
Yeah, John said the biggest thing he's missing now, like his just raw strength is around where it was back in his younger days. But I think he said what he's missing is his explosiveness. I recall one interview. I mean, he's been doing a lot of these where he's like, yeah, probably the best me was like 20, early 20 or something, because I was just fast, I was explosive, and that's what you lose over time a bit. So yeah, interesting thoughts. Thank you for sharing that. User untaken username. Very creative. Little update on Richard Lepke's, for those wondering. He says, thank you for the support and the outpouring of love and prayers and concerns. We spoke to Shirley's oncologist, and her cancer is aggressive and terminal. They are going to try radiation first and then chemo, try to slow it down. She has multiple spots in her lungs. Thanks again to everyone, Richard. So everyone, show your love there. Richard's, if you're new to the sport, he's one of the OGs, an absolute gem. And from everyone who I've ever talked to who's met him, the nicest dude you'll ever meet in your life. So hearts go out to you, Richard. Wishing you the best, man. Levon, curling 130 kilograms for 5 repetitions. And I believe the strict curl world record was 114 strict curl. So keep that in mind. But here's Levon being a monster, not a strict curl. But
impressive nonetheless. It's hard to like say how much of this carries over. Is this stronger than other people's curls? When we start getting like in sloppier and sloppier form, does it have carryover to the table getting stronger? Of course, but it's hard to measure. It's hard to explain what that means compared to other people. But I think just enjoying it as an impressive feat is where you just want to stay at and not read into it too much.
No, yeah, you're spot on. Like it's a big dude moving a ton of weight. But like there's like 8 inches of travel with his shoulders, so you can't compare that to someone else who may have only had 6 inches of travel back. So yeah, not even worth getting into that conversation. But yeah, he even tagged at East versus West Arm Wrestling, letting the people know he's coming in hot. So yeah, really impressive to see. It must be so weird to be in that gym and seeing Levon load up all that weight and not deadlift it. It's like, oh, what's that guy doing with 3 plates on the bar? And he goes, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, go figure. Another, this is what I'm talking about. Another Devin looking huge photo. It's just grainy. This is where we're at. People are screenshotting anything and everything Devin Larratt right now and just gawking at his size. So
no, this one's on purpose. Someone uploaded the most pixelated image they could find on purpose.
Yeah.
This is the other guy.
Yeah, this is poking fun. This is actually Christian Binney from 2012 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well done, Jinong. Well played. This is interesting. Devin in 2012 was in a movie called, quote, Agent Beetle, end quote, also known as Agent of Justice. Had you known about this?
What?
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, so Devin Larratt was in a movie. You guys ready for this? Here we go.
Wait.
Oh, it's coming.
What?
Uh-oh.
Nice kick. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Dude's a beast. Oh, here comes Devin.
Oh, Devin's getting manhandled.
Yeah, this guy's
this is bad PR.
Right?
We can't have this.
Goes for the choke. Uh-oh.
Oh, there he goes. Oh.
So There you go. You guys didn't think you'd see that today, but here we are. That's all the context I have on this. Robert Gould saying, "What the f are we watching?" I don't know, man.
It was Devin choking some dude out, trying to do it, getting his butt kicked like that. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
It is what it is. What it is.
We just basically watched Devin versus Dennis first time. That was Devin versus Dennis left-handed. Is basically what we just watched.
Pretty much. So yeah, that's what you get on the Reddit. You never know. It's like a box of chocolates, man. So thank you, Chance Smell 5797. Poor Chance, man. He doesn't smell that bad. I've met him.
I mean, it smells kind of pretty bad.
All right. So who do you guys think has the best forearm genetics in arm wrestling? And I'm sure this picture is coming up very small for everyone. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. We have Oleg there.
Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, aesthetically, like obviously it's Oleg. Yeah, Oleg. I don't know, maybe Jeff Dave, one of the two. But probably Oleg. I mean, look at that. There's a third forearm going on in there. There's like, I don't know. It's insane. It's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the story? Like the umbilical cord, like wrapped around his arm or something. I don't know if that's a urban legend, but I heard like, yeah, when he was a fetus, the cord wrapped around his arm and it caused some developmental changes. And now you have this. So yeah, he's up there. I would say Matt Mask is up there too, at least on the vascularity front, dude. When he, after a workout, dude, his veins are like a road map, dude. It's freaky. So yeah, definitely at him. Dennis, I think, has some really nice forearms. But yeah, it's all about the forearms in this game.
In the chat real quick, someone's asking if I lifted weights. Because in the Larry video, Larry goes, you lifted weights, Eric? It was a joke. We were laughing because it's such a stupid ass question. Like that's why we were laughing when Larry asked if I lift weights.
I see.
Like, obviously, I mean, I've put out multiple videos of me in the gym and training with weights. So, I mean, I've gone to Dubai with Larry in the gym. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a really stupid question.
Yeah, no, Derek's. We actually talked about this last podcast. You're so strong that you just have to put more emphasis on weights because the table isn't enough. Mm-hmm. So, all right, next up, well, that was shared by Possible Force. Actually, let's take a look at some of the comments because you can comment on every thread on Reddit. So, Sinkfinger96 says Alan Fisher, good suggestion. Yeah, Alan Fisher is crazy forearms.
But is that genetics though, or is it hard work? That's what I'm saying. Like when they were born with that, or is that something that they developed? So
yeah, you're right. The question is genetics. I think it's probably a mix, right? Some people train forearms just as much, but they don't have that same kind of look. Yeah. Arsen Liliev, Taras Ivakin are some suggestions. Statistically speaking, it's probably someone who doesn't arm wrestle. Yeah, that's the answer to every question about arm wrestling because we're not big enough yet. But thanks to people like Martino Doni, we're getting there. So Jeff Dabe, actually, that's a genetic gift. All right, so thank you for that post, Possible Force. Moving on, we have a post of talking about Arm Wars exposure. So it's by Ray Tracani, and he says, how are the athletes supposed to get exposure when the matches never get released? Everything is hidden behind a paywall. And that's an interesting question I wanted to get your thoughts on. I can see both sides. Yeah, Arm Wars is a great way to get exposure, but they need to fund it, right? The production quality is ridiculously high, some of the best in the game right now. And so they're doing you have to be a member to the Arm Wars channel in order to get access to those videos, which is obviously going to hurt viewership.
Wait, they're not going to release them for free at any point?
I think they do, and they have like for the old Iron House matches, like with RVJ's matches out and a bunch of the other ones with like Frodo Hoagland, but it takes a while. He definitely keeps them for a minute. I don't even think that the Devin Sanders one is out, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
But
I think it's a bad move. I think you put them out still. Maybe you got to spend a little time, get a little gap or whatever. But until you're huge, you have a huge following, you do that. Like to make it super exclusive when it's already a lot of people don't know about it. I mean, in the big picture, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a balance to be met somewhere. I don't know if that's it, but yeah. Arm Wars is a great launching pad for a lot of people. Jody was just over there, and yeah, it was a good show. Yeah, here's more from Martino Doni, AW. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. He has like The title is "Did My Usual quote Teaching at School Day?" end quote. Just a little snippet. Was a huge success. Found some hidden gems, and my God, how cool is this? So I guess this is at school in some kind of gym room. He set up an arm wrestling table, and look at all the interest. People love it. No like high school kid is going to walk past an arm wrestling table, see this, and just turn around and walk the other way. People are going to be like, what's going on? They're going to want to try it. So getting arm wrestling into schools, I think, is the best possible path forward. Did you catch that live at all with Devin at the high school tournament where Auden was competing?
I caught a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole
same
thing, but I think I saw the end. It lasted 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, pretty much same, but packed house, dude. Packed house.
Yep.
It's a shame, dude. So many people don't even know this is a thing in the United States, at least. You know, you say competitive arm wrestling, they're like, oh, there's a competitive scene like that. But so once again, Martino, you're killing it, dude. This is awesome to see. Go Italy. Here, Robert Gould is the fake match. So this was shared. Title is I can't be the only one to think this looks fake as hell. So let us know, chat. Is this a fake arm wrestling match?
See, it goes into a hook. It's kind of wobbly center.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely wasn't Vitali going 100%. I'll tell you that much. But like, it's not to say it's staged either. Maybe Vitali felt right away he couldn't do it, and because they're training partners.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I don't know if it was like pre-planned, but it's definitely not Vitali going 100%. That's for sure.
Right. No doubt about it. Especially early in the tournament, because we actually watched the hardcore match and how close it was. So something going on there. I mean, athletes lay down to each other all the time for strategic reasons. So that could be it, but maybe for production reasons, they didn't want to make it look silly. Because if you've ever seen a match where the person lays down, it's super lame. So maybe they talked with the promoters and were like, we'll dress it up a little bit.
That makes sense. Instead of actually just flat out laying down.
Yeah. Right. That doesn't look good. And then like new viewers are going to see that and be like, wait, what's going on here? This is fixed, blah, blah, blah. So, and now instead of new viewers saying that, you have experienced viewers saying it's fixed. So you just switch the problem around, but hey, it is what it is. So we have a post from Strunk Axe, and he says, Gennady missed opportunity. I saw many of you saying things like he doesn't have to promote the match for free. He's got better things to do. But basically the post is, hey, Gennady should be more active promoting the Devin match. And Gennady went live with Engin a few days ago and saying he's starting a store. He's like building a storefront. Not sure exactly what he's selling. So he's busy now, but he will be back on social media. And the dude's funny as hell, man.
You verified that he's training, though?
What's that?
You verified that he's still training?
Yeah, he's saying he's PRing. Engin asked him if he's at the shape he was like right before the pandemic, where Engin thought he was at his best, and Gennady said he's even better than that. He's PRing across the board, not on left arm. He said his left arm's a little bugged, but right arm is stellar, and he's going to detach Devin's arm, throw it over his shoulder, and then send Devin back to Canada. Is the plan right now. So that's what's going on. What's going on, everyone in chat? We got a bunch of
my thumbnail. Right when I'm going to be there, you know what I mean? Right when he's detaching Devin's arm, right when it's like ripping, I want to be right behind him, like I'm making my thumbnail, and I'll clip it and I'll put that in my vlog series. Like I was there, and it's actually my face in the background making the face.
There you go, best photo bomb ever, and you will be there. Devin or Derek will be commentating. So, do you know who your co-commentators are yet? I've heard rumors.
Well, originally it was Travis, me, and Neil. I heard originally it was me and Travis.
Right.
Neil was announcing, but then they said something about Neil coming into the booth and us three alternating.
Right, you mentioned that.
I don't know how it's going to work though. I haven't asked for specifications.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm down for whatever. I'll be there as long as I get to see the cool matches. I want to commentate. Hopefully, people want to hear me commentate. But yeah, I don't know specifics which matches they want me to commentate or not, or we'll be switching off like that.
Okay, but as we know right now, it's going to be you, Travis, and Neil in some kind of weird triangle.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, sweet. Let's see if someone shared this post. This guy would be he's like a 6'10", 14-year-old, and I think he's in Michigan or something. So if anyone watching is in Michigan, find this dude, get him on the table. We need him more than football does. Do you have any giant genetics freaks at your practice, Derek? Because you got a whole bunch of people there.
I mean, obviously, I'm usually I think I've always been the tallest, but I've had some guys. I've had guys come with longer arms and bigger hands than me, and yeah, there's people out there, man. It's just finding them at the right time in their lives where they actually love arm wrestling and all the things click perfectly. You know, it's just rough because it's not a mainstream sport yet, right? So they kind of really have to fall in love with it. So certain things have to be present, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just, I mean, if you're a young kid, you know, you're seeing football on the TV, you're seeing that's where all the money is, so you can't blame them for leaning towards that direction. That's definitely one of the reasons why Europe has such a better reputation in the arm wrestling world. People think it's just Europe's better at arm wrestling, period. Dude, no one talks about it here. I didn't even find the sport until I was in my 20s. Didn't even see I've never even seen an arm wrestling table. So yeah, we got work to do.
In my experiences lately, in the last like 2 years, I don't hear people say, especially men, say, "Oh, wow, I didn't know that that's a sport." Right? I'll hear that from women sometimes still, but I rarely hear that from men. That arm wrestling's a sport. Like there's a sport like that. I used to hear that all the time. So a lot of people have heard of Devin, Schoolboy, Larry Wheels, and seen it at least somewhere on some video. They've seen it nowadays. At least a lot of guys.
Yeah.
For the ladies, I think we still have a ways to go.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, Gennady said something similar actually in that interview. He's like, I'm getting more people coming up to me now in Georgia, knowing who I am, wishing me luck against Devin. This sport's blowing up, dude. He said he's more proud to be an arm wrestler than ever. So it's a good place to put your stock, people. And apparently, that's a joke. Robert Gould said beard products is what Gennady is selling.
Yeah,
I believed. Until he made it clear he's joking. So thanks for the clarification. Or that would have been my reality for Gennady for the rest of my life. So thank you for clarifying. You were joking, Robert. Jim Flipper has an interesting comment here. He says, Neil has said several times they're trying to get Arm Wars on a streaming service like Netflix. That's probably his wish, even if it's a reach. And Derek, why don't you give your thoughts there? Is that the right approach to try to go for the big guns like Netflix?
Well, I mean, all of the above. I mean, when Wall was in here, their goals are on ESPN and things like that. And I mean, yeah, shoot for the stars, of course. I mean, Neil's been around for a while. Arm Wars has been around for a while. I think that would be an awesome place to land. Doesn't mean that the whole sport is gearing for Netflix. I mean, Neil's going for Netflix. Other people are going for the Olympics. Other people are going for just online streaming services. So I mean, by all means, I don't think it's a problem reaching for that. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And Arm Wars was on like local television back in 2011 in England, I think, right? I'm pretty sure it was on TV. So he's got connections. Like I said, the production quality is better than a lot of the stuff you see on TV right now, especially on the reality front. So I don't hate it. I just hope he still releases the matches in a timely manner. But yeah, if all of a sudden Neil comes out and says, yeah, I just landed a deal with Netflix, people will understand that he was doing more than we see behind the scenes. Yeah, James Clark with an interesting post saying, I'm so pissed I never searched for an arm wrestling video in my early 20s. I lived 30 minutes from Fitzy, James Fitzsimmons, when I was in school. Yeah, I wonder how many people the YouTube algorithm has introduced to arm wrestling. That's honestly the biggest promoter of our sport. And yeah, I'm with you, man. I pulled with Fitzy a few days ago. The dude feels unreal, man. I think he's got to be the best over 60 guy in the country right now. It's freaky. But moving on, we got, I think he's like an 18-time world champion, just a crazy guy. So check out Vavoda's new YouTube channel, says Just Gold 69. And yeah, Vavoda's on YouTube, looking pretty good. We talked about him a bit last show. We'll have to see where he's going. Do you have any updates there on what Vavoda's up to?
No, I mean, I think we talked about last week, just the snippets and stuff here and there. I haven't heard anything official about his plans or where he's actually at right now.
Yeah, so in this screenshot, he I don't speak Russian, but he did do hashtag arm wrestling. So he's trying to get himself out into the community. That's a good sign.
Dude,
so
Hodo getting YouTube famous. All right, let's see if we gotta get him on the show.
Hey, there you go. All right, there's our non-sucky guest.
I wonder if he speaks English or how well he speaks English.
Yeah, I don't know. Next up, we have a post from Husser L Lover. He says, is RVJ still elite level anymore? And he wants serious responses only. People have all kinds of excuses for him. Lack of training, work, partying. He claims natty. I don't see how anyone can pull the world's elite as a natural. He's out of his damn mind if he thinks he can win against Zurab. Zurab's huge, strong, very active, whereas RVJ has been out of the game for several years now. I honestly don't think he's even top 20 in North America. Wow, he doesn't think he's even top 20 in North America anymore. Zurab is leagues above him now, and I think the sport has evolved beyond when he used to pull. He's not even top 20 in US, I would say, and he's chasing some of Europe's sauciest arm wrestlers as a natty. After East First West 7, his new home in Massachusetts better be a rehab facility. I think it's a mismatch, and RVJ will probably get injured so bad he'll have to retire forever. Some serious love going RVJ's way there.
Is it just like some of these guys, they just watch a YouTube video, they're like, I don't really like what he said there. Well, I'm behind my computer. No one knows who I am. Let me go make a trash post on this dude on Reddit, somewhere where I can actually voice something in front of everybody. Yeah. Let me just make a trash post. No one knows who I am. Like, what a weird thing to do. But on the serious topic of it, not reading into all the stuff he wrote, but I think you'd have to ask like what your definition of elite is. First off, you know what I mean? And I don't know how people rank elite. Does that mean top 2 in each weight class in the world? You're on the top 10 list of everybody overall in the world? Is that elite? Like, what is elite? It depends, I guess. And then we can answer the question, you know?
Yeah. So this came at an interesting time. I got to practice with RVJ on Wednesday. So less than a week ago, I got on the table with him. And well, I replied in the thread. I'll show you what I said. I said, I trained with him tonight after he had another hard practice on Saturday. He looks and feels great, way better than a year ago when we pulled. And it's clear he's taking this match seriously. I'm not exactly qualified to say if he's elite, but for context, I'm one of the best heavyweights in the Northeast US. I expect Rob to be competitive in this match. And Rob actually shared the video today of us pulling. So yeah, I got some practice in with Rob. Again, he had pulled the 3 days earlier with Brendan Elsesser and a bunch of others. So he's not fresh here, and he feels great. He feels better than I felt him before. I pull him maybe like once a year at like Christmas parties and stuff. And I'm coming in the strongest I've ever been, and especially inside. Again, he's being nice to me. He's a very good training partner. He feels awesome. I will be shocked if he's not competitive with Zurab here. Based on what I've felt, I've pulled my fair share of elite guys. This is where Jerry's home practice. I pulled with Tim Bresnan a bunch. So I think he is at that level. I would say, I don't know if he's the favorite against Zurab. It's almost impossible to say because we have like no data with RVJ. He absolutely smokes me on left. But yeah, that's my insight. I pulled with him. He feels amazing, and I will be shocked if he's like destroyed by Zurab. Mm-hmm. So hope that answers your question, Husserl Lover. And then we have another post from Prixa, and it's about buying pay-per-views for others. And this, I think, is a great option for East First West. There's so much drama about people not being able to afford the show, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even want to talk about that anymore. But this would just be cool on its own. Being able to get a redeemable code for the pay-per-views, right? So for giveaways, for whatever, man, someone can just drop 10 of them and be like, all right, whoever cashes in first gets them. So if anyone at Core Sports World hears this, I think that's a great idea. What do you think?
Well, that would be awesome. I mean, I would love to do that. I would go maybe buy like 5-10 of them and just give them away some during my live stream, something like that. Have more polls, you know. Check the subscriber base. All right, once we hit our 40 subscriber, I'll do a giveaway in this stream. You know, I could do. There's a lot of ideas and things I could do, and I'd love nothing more than to help out East vs West and have fun on my channel with that type of stuff and throw all types of giveaways out and give out codes. But yeah, and then there's certain people they can't afford it, and it's hard to buy them things like that. So it'd be a great thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a fantastic idea, and we have some. Let's see. We have some questions about arm wrestling technique now, so we'll switch into that mode. And this is a post by user Danga HDMI, and he says, "Do arm wrestlers train reversed wrist curls?" is the title of the post. He writes, "Is there any benefit to include this exercise in training for arm wrestling? I never saw some arm wrestler doing it, only normal cupping / wrist curl exercise." Take it away, Derek. You're the guy for this kind of
I
stuff.
don't lift in the gym. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, never mind. All right,
So,
no, go ahead.
Is there benefit for doing reverse curls? Of course, there's a benefit. Is it going to be a main driver or something that's going to be the biggest contributor to you becoming amazing? No, it's more for health and for balance. But balance also creates strength, right? So the stronger you can get, your ability to do external rotation, the stronger you get your ability to do internal rotation as well. Your body always wants balance, right? So your ability to do wrist extension, which would be reverse curls and things like that, or it hits wrist extension, it also hits your brachialis or brachioradialis because you're palm down. That's going to add balance in your arm at all times, right? So I do it when I do reverse curls. I do it for the wrist extension because that's pretty much the only wrist extension I do. Exercise to keep health in the back of my forearms. So I keep my wrist straight when I do it. I always maintain straight wrist. I don't just for that. And then but it builds balance. So that way I can build my forearms and stuff even more and have that external pressure and be able to handle it. So for balance, for health, and balance also creates strength. So yes, I think it definitely has a place. I do it once a week. I do reverse curls. So personally, what about you, Ren?
Yeah, no, same here. That's one of the things Jim Fitzsimmons, 18-time world champion, said. You got to get that balance. If you do so much wrist flexion, you got to balance it out. In fact, RVJ released a video, I think he called it like the yin and yang of arm wrestling, where he's like, you got to hit the extension. You hit so much flexion that if the imbalance becomes so big, you're at a greater chance for risk. You're at greater risk for injury. And I mean, there are spots on the table where you're going to want maybe some extension strength. If only for stability in the wrist. Arm wrestling is... What's that?
I read reverse curl. I didn't see the wrist part. I didn't see reverse wrist curls. I thought you said reverse curls. They just.
I mean, it's similar, right? You're statically
I'm still doing it to target the same thing, but yeah, my bad. So
right. No, I think everything you said still applies. Maybe I read it wrong. That might be my fault. But either way, the point stands. Make everything in your arm and hand strong. Like, period. I'm never gonna be like, oh, that's not. Don't even bother making that part of your hand strong. Arm wrestling is so dynamic. You're in so many weird places and it requires so much stability, which requires that extension and flexion balance. So yeah, absolutely do it. Again, multiple world champions have explicitly said they do them. So there's empirical evidence and theoretical support for it. Hope that answers your question. Danga HDMI, hit those reverse curls. All right, next up we got full bookkeeper.
Did your monetization go through? Can you get super chats and stuff now?
Yeah, we did it.
It's equipped. I know we're on Ryan's channel right now. I hadn't looked. Someone super chat Ryan $1 right now. I want to see it go through.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've got one yet. So
Ryan hasn't got a single super chat yet. Someone.
Okay, I can't confirm if it works. Don't feel like you have to do it. I'm pretty sure I monetized now. I went through the whole damn process and whatever.
If it's on there, dude, someone be the first super chat ever on Ryan's channel right now. I know someone wants to do it.
All right, yeah, let's make history here. Alex McDonald has some words for you, Derek.
Alex, don't start with me right now. You know what? You and Dave are really pushing my buttons in this chat room right now. A couple of my harshest critics in like the nice way.
Yeah.
Like lightly roasting me at all times. So that's
but yeah, so we have full bookkeeper here asking, how could I train my finger strength on the
Hey, Bridget won the race. Bridget won.
Thank you.
Everybody, there they go. Look at you. This guy's
we made it.
We're making it rain on top of Ryan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, there we go. Hey, you guys are gonna start twerking on camera, right?
Is that how it works? Is that the policy, man? I didn't know what I signed.
Sell your soul for the money. There it goes.
Yeah, I should have read the fine print a little better. Wow, dude, I've given super chats. I've never received one. It is crazy to be on the other side. Hey, Bridget in the building. You on my screen at least came in first, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Don't feel like you have to, guys. I would do this even if I was doing it before I was monetized. So do not feel obligated. Robert Gould, man, Jesus, dude, thank you. My good, look at Derek over there. All right. I owe you a beer, I guess. Thank you, guys.
Devin's so hard. I'm so happy this is happening right now.
I'm €1 rich. No, is that a pound or a euro? One euro.
Yeah.
I'm a euro richer. Thank you, Devin's classy finger. James, dude, what are you doing, man? Hibby hoobla. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you, guys. All of you. Appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. That's the most important thing. Crazy stuff. So yeah, finger strength on the table. How do you do it? I don't know what the question exactly means. How do I train my finger strength on the table, or does he mean for the table?
Well,
So
he probably means for the table. How can I train
yeah,
finger strength for the table?
yeah,
There's a couple things, right? So traditional grip strength, which is kind of like I have a little grip right here. They'd have you crushing your hand in here. See how it's wrapped? It's in my middle knuckles. It's not on my tips of my fingers, and it's crushing like this. Now, does that have play in arm wrestling? Yes. There are situations, especially inside the straps and things like that, where having strong grip and downward pressure with your fingers, like in these bottom knuckles, it helps sink someone below your hand. So, oh, dude, look at all these tools I got. So when you're when you're arm wrestling somebody and you're trying to set up their webbing, right? So my little hand here's webbing is even or above mine. We close our hands. When I grip tight, especially when we're in the straps, they will sink. I can sink them below my hand by squeezing tight with my fingers, right? Suddenly my hand is above theirs and I can do a lot more. So there's pressure here does make a play. Now, that is a more very specific situation where you would need pressure in those bottom knuckles, right? It has to be in the straps, in a situation where you're trying to pull up top, you're trying to crush the guy below you. Now, a more common situation would be someone trying to top roll you and hitting your fingertips outside the straps. It's super common. So when I do grippers and I'm not trying to close like a 3.5 and I'm just training grippers, I have the grippers on my fingertips like this, past that last knuckle, right? Because a lot of times when you're trying to hold on to somebody, you'll see that last knuckle fold back like that, right? And that's a lot of coverage you lose when trying to contain somebody, that last knuckle folding back. So I train everything fingertips to not let that last knuckle ever go backwards, where that you lose about 1.5 inches of coverage whenever it goes, right? So I would say if you're going to train grippers, train them on fingertips, but also get good work in on just closing your hand, which doesn't have the biggest play, but it does have some play, right? But definitely train your fingertips, things on your fingertips, turning the gripper upside down and whatnot, and getting the fingertips strong to be able to close your gripper up here. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah. Get you out of solo mode there. I think you nailed it. There's so many options here. I love all that. Another thing I like is this I'm stealing from Jim Fitzsimmons. He has a flat like 2x4 that he stapled to the top of his roof, and he does pull-ups like this on them, right? Mm-hmm. That's how he does his pull-ups over and over and over, right? No gripping around a bar, flat finger. Because that's, in a match, it's really when you're this is the starting match, right? When you start an arm wrestling match, you're like this, and it's a lot of flat finger containment. It's not so much that, and that's why Derek was talking about how he does the grippers the way he does, right? That's why traditional gripping isn't necessarily the best. Flat fingers where you want. Another thing RVJ does, he also just cut up a piece of wood, or you can get handles like the dual flexor that I make, which is just flat on top. And just get your fingers over it so you have more of a flat grip and do flat stuff, right? Attach that to a pulley and do flat finger stuff. RBJ calls his, it's a McWoody, I think he calls it. So yeah, just a piece of wood that he attaches to a pulley system to get that flat finger containment strength. So there you go, user full bookkeeper 2504. Hope that answered your question. Thank you for supporting the subreddit. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say on that, Derek, before we move on?
Nah, man, but there's certain strengths like grip and finger strength that's like a strength I'd rather have and not need than need and not have. I'm not saying it's an end-all be-all important strength to have, but it's, I'd like to have it. There's no bad strength to have in arm wrestling, right? Yeah. It's cool to be strong everywhere. Definitely.
Yeah. Just like Gene Simmons says. Dude, you got some trolls in chat tonight, man. I don't know what's going on, Alex, dude, but you brought the fun.
Usually Alex is super sarcastic. Yeah. I know he's been kind of sarcastic, but he says like, Derek, you're the best in the world. You're going to beat everybody. They can use two hands, stuff like that. Now he's being a little more directly passive aggressive.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. All right. So next up, we have a post by user I'm the Suspect. And he writes, can you even do something if your opponent has a considerably stronger wrist than you?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you can always.
Yes. So one of my favorite sayings I love to tell people about is that, so there's basically 3 joints you worry about in arm wrestling, right? There's hand and wrist. We'll call that one joint. I know there's a lot of little ones. We'll call this one. There's your elbow and there's your shoulder, right? The 3 main joints in arm wrestling. Now, I've gone over the years kind of trying to figure out which one's the most important joint to get stronger. My elbow flexors, things that protect my elbow, my shoulder, so like my chest and shoulder, things that protect keeping my arm inside my body and things like that, or the hand and wrist. Now, most people would say hand and wrist because it leads to most victories. But this is something I came up with that was a revelation in my head. When I came up with this saying, it made sense. I can give you a ton of examples of people winning without their hand and wrist. How many examples can you give me with someone winning without their elbow flexors? Not a lot, right? Not a lot unless you count a king's move, which means like your arm literally can't go straight. But assuming you have a fully functioning arm, when someone's arm opens all the way up, how many examples can you give me of someone like that winning? Not a lot, right? So I think in the end, if say you have a top arm wrestler, they know every technique and they're fully just equipped. They have all the tools. And they're willing to let their hand go. I think you can win that way easier than you can win without a strong elbow, right? So yeah. I mean that leads to flop pressing and things like that nature. I mean Hermes versus Levon, you see it right there, right? It's just that's the way, and that's becoming so much more and more prevalent. I'm seeing it more and more at tournaments. This North versus South I just went to meetup we just had on Saturday. I don't know how many matches we saw get like this and start going sideways. Like, I mean, we actually even had an arm break. I mean, hopefully the girl heals up pretty well. But yeah, I mean, people take the hands and they would just start driving sideways over and over and over again. We had 40 super matches. I swear at least 15 to 16, 17 of those matches were like that. Someone loses it and someone starts driving sideways over and over and over again. So I just think it's becoming more of an option as people see it and they're trying to find it. It's dangerous, it's scary, but it is doable if you're ready for it.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly right. I don't know how new this user is. If they're just someone who just found the sport and got their hand absolutely dominated, and they're like, "What the heck just happened?" Mm-hmm. So yeah, people to watch. I mean, if Jerry's the king of the flop press. Todd Hutchings, for example, not to emulate these people. If you're new, do not try to do these things. But it will give you some ideas of the kind of range that arm wrestling has to offer. The wrist fight is just one battle. There are multiple battles going on here. And wrist, like Derek said, may not even be the most important, at least in some regards. You have elbow flexion. You got all kinds of things going on. So, yeah, don't give up the fight if you're going against someone with a stronger wrist. And we got Derek, what did you do to me, man? Joe, thank you so much for the super sticker, dude. You're the man. You're feeling ridiculously strong. Can't wait to train with you again. Thank you for tuning into the show. Oh, my, Mateus. Jesus, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support, guys. Really, it means a lot. It shows you guys like the show, and that's the best feedback because we're doing our best here. We're trying to do something different with the Reddit thing. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you all so much. So there's your answer. User, I'm the suspect. Don't give up. Next up, how to be more explosive on the table, asks user Evil Emperor. He says, when I try to start explosively and put all my power in right at the beginning, I feel severe pain here. And he shares a screenshot. Risky click time. Okay. Whew. All right. He feels pain there when he puts all his force in. Jesus, Derek. Oh, my God. Oh my!
I want to have the biggest super chat.
We're gonna have a chat after this live ends. We're not gonna talk about this now, but we need to. Okay. Anyway, thank you, dude. So I have to gradually put more power until I reach my maximum. So we can't give his maximum right at the start, but he slowly increases his power, which takes about 3 seconds. Are there any exercises that might help with this? By the way, I train using a bench and cable machine to replicate the position I'd be in if I was arm wrestling. I also do half chin-ups. They're better than full chin-ups for arm wrestling, right? Wrist curls, bicep hammer curls, and grippers. This is the only arm wrestling I do. Is it enough to get me stronger? So 2 questions there. We'll focus on the first one, which is how to be more explosive on the table. How to be more explosive on the table. You want to start?
Yeah, I mean, as a super explosive, fast arm wrestler myself, just someone that's just all, horsepower. I don't know, man. You take this. I have no idea, bro.
So, yeah, one of the things I do are Olympic lifts. So I like to do cleans, jerks. I like to do sometimes snatch. It's a little risky catching it on the shoulder for arm wrestling, so I don't do those as much. But the body gets better at what you do. So if you are training fast, explosive movements, snappy movements, heck, even just start and then sprint and just as fast as you can. Just get your body used to firing everything quickly. That is something you can train. If you go to an NFL training facility, you're going to see a row of Olympic lifting platforms because you want to train that fast explosiveness. So if you feel like you're slow, honestly, I'd say the best thing is find a partner you trust and do ready goes. Find someone that you can just, there's apps now that have like a voice that will just give randomized go, right? You see Ryan Bowen doing a lot of training with that. Or even just a random beep generator. It doesn't have to be arm wrestling specific. And just get with someone, and when they say go, just go. And just keep doing that over and over. Train your body how to react super fast, and you will get faster. You will get more explosive. It'll feel more natural and fluid, especially if you're new. Because if you have to think, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, you're going to be slower. But once you get that muscle memory and it becomes second nature, you're going to notice you'll be faster automatically. James, what the fuck? Jesus, dude.
I'm waiting, bro. How long did it take to see that, man?
I got the second screen setup going. Guys, stop. This is ridiculous. James, what are you doing, dude?
All right, do I hear $101? Do I see anybody topping?
God, no, all right, I'm going to shut the damn street, guys.
Can we get a bidding war going on? James, by the way, respect. I respect that, man.
Dude, James, what the hell, man? What am I going to do with you? Jesus Christ, dude.
This is great.
Dude, what just happened? Are you kidding? All right. Thank you so much, man. That will go to the protein fund. So when we meet again on the table, you're going to regret that, because I'm going to be way stronger, because I'm going to get the nicest protein GNC has to offer. Thank you so much, dude. All you guys, even just those tuning in. This is still a new show. We're trying to grow it. So just hanging in, hitting the like button, hitting chats helps a lot. So thank you. So there's my answer. Be more explosive by just doing more explosive things, and your body will adapt, like cleans or even just starts on the table with a tool with a random number thing. Derek, do you want to take off? I can't focus.
The second one was I trained by using a bench cable to replicate the position of it was arm wrestling. I also do chin-ups. So he does lifts that replicate arm wrestling in a gym. Is that going to get him stronger? Yeah, of course. Doing compound movements and things that replicate arm wrestling are going to get you stronger at arm wrestling. What can come out of that though is that one, lifting in a gym and trying to replicate arm wrestling is never really going to be arm wrestling, right? It's never going to have the complete pressures that you're going to have on a table. And it's very, because you're training with a specific handle size and a specific angle, what happens when you're doing this angle and in your gym, you always supinate and then drive sideways with this lift. And all of a sudden you go against a guy and he stopped your supination, and now that lift's not working because you're used to everything going in the exact same order and clicking together, right? So that's why I'm not the biggest believer in trying to replicate arm wrestling in a gym. I'd rather strengthen each muscle necessary for arm wrestling individually and isolated, and then put them together at practice on a table by actually arm wrestling, right? To get them all fired up. That way I know all the tools in my toolbox are sharpened. Every single muscle I need for arm wrestling is strong and sharpened, and then I just put them together. But I don't try to halfway recreate arm wrestling in a gym for me. But will you get stronger doing it? Yes. Do I think it's the most efficient, complete way to get stronger for arm wrestling? No, not in my opinion. But there's a lot of different opinions on this out there. You're going to find, guys. I just like isolating each tool and then putting them all together at the right time, right? So yeah.
You told me that a while back. That if you're trying to emulate arm wrestling in the gym and you're not progressing, how do you even know what the problem is, right? Whereas if you isolate, you can be like, okay, I know this is weak, and I know I need to work on that. But if you're doing super compound lifts, it's harder to say what is failing, right? So definitely some wise advice there. Next up, so we have Rayvaz might be a problem. Rayvaz has been leveling up and getting bigger and stronger than ever before. Some of his lifts are better than Lavon's and in any current contender. People are underestimating him due to his subpar performances against Monster Michael Todd and Morozov, but they forget that he took a few years away from the sport and is now gaining form. Gennady is reporting that him and Rayvaz are equal, giving each other hell in training. In my opinion, it wouldn't be surprising if Rayvaz is actually besting Gennady. Rayvaz has the potential to be a legit tier 2 contender. Chafee is the right man for this test. It is going to be the best match of the night. Would not surprise me at all. I am super excited for this. Big opportunity for both athletes, because Chafee's had obviously a very impressive match at King of the Table against Vitaly, but he's taken some losses also at East versus West. So I love this matchup. I will not sleep on Rayvaz because, he's a WAF super heavyweight world champion, which is a tough thing to be. Very tough thing to be. So, and he seems to be getting back in form. I think he said he was like 60% in his first East versus West match. Then he was up to 80%, and presumably he's close to 100 now. So how do you see that one going?
I have a little experience with Rayvaz. I did a little got my ass kicked by him, which is probably the biggest win he's ever had, to be honest. Beating me on the table. I mean, I don't think it gets much bigger win than that. But the no, I think Ravaz is amazing. I think his hand and wrist, I think, are going to be strong enough to take Dave's. People have asked me about this match, and I think that I have Dave as a favorite, but not because I think Dave maintains his hand. I think Dave loses his hand. I'm just wondering how comfortable Dave's gotten with pressing with that shoulder. Looks like each match is becoming more of a thing for him and becoming more of a possibility. And Dave, with that insane side pressure already, mixed with him incorporating getting that shoulder tight, I just think that's a really dangerous problem to deal with as he gets more fluid with it. So I'm not predicting Dave holds his wrist and crushes Ravaz. I think Ravaz, that hand's amazing. I bust Dave, but I'm worried about Ravaz's elbow and arm compared to Dave's sideways and floppiness that he's getting more and more willing to do. But yeah, so I think Ravaz is a big problem for everybody. I think a lot of people shouldn't take him lightly at all. So
yeah. Some drama in chat right now. Do you know Ogre 1 and 2 like from your gaming days?
I know them very well.
You know them very well. I wonder. So yeah, there's the answer. Yeah, Ravaz, no, don't sleep on him. I'm very excited for that match. Wouldn't surprise me if it's match of the night either. But sweet. So we have another question from user Flimsy Initiative, and we're getting close to Maximum Bang Monday time. So I guess this will be our last one here. It's a little bit of a story, so we'll fill you in here. He says, oddly terrible at arm wrestling when first starting. There's the title. He says, I went to the bar the other night and this really small guy wanted to arm wrestle. So I said, sure. I'm a 6'2", 240-pound former college football player that can bench press 335 pounds and can curl 110 pounds fairly easily. Exactly. Yeah. This guy was maybe 5'7", 160 pounds soaking wet. He went on to beat me. Then it turned into me arm wrestling 4 other guys who all beat me. 3 out of 4 were way smaller than me. Then the most embarrassing part. A lady in her mid-40s arm wrestled me. And she couldn't move my arm from the starting position, but I couldn't get her arm down either. And we both finally agreed to just stop. I definitely need technique help. I'm feeling it all in my rotator cuff area, which I think is wrong, ? All
dude,
right.
Just hanging up, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I mean, there's a line that we just don't cross, and then that's it, man. You can't, you have no future. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's such a similar thing to when I first got into arm wrestling. I got challenged by a 15-year-old kid. I was like 23 or so, and I was way bigger than him. He was 165 pounds. I was probably 280. And he beat me, flashed me in front of a bunch of people, embarrassed me, didn't know what's going on. So I got real obsessive. I went on the internet and I tried to learn how to arm wrestle. And then it took a couple years to really get going, but eventually I found the right teams and yada, yada, yada. So I am an example of losing in my beginning and then getting good-ish later, right? So yes, you definitely can, 100%, man. You just have to take it serious and don't dwell too much on what happened in a bar. It's not real arm wrestling in the first place. You guys are going in horrible directions using tiny muscles. You weren't using your big muscles adequately. And by the time you probably tried to use them, you were too tired in all your elbow and all your rotator cuff and things like that. So don't read into it too much. Yes, you can be amazing. You can be awesome. Just find a local team and start training, man.
Yeah. Similar story here. I guess we'll all just share our embarrassing arm wrestling stories. I went to my first practice, and there was I met my who would be my coach, Josh Grant, and I'm like, what do I do? Where do I go? There's a bunch of tables, and we're in a musty basement, which is the only real way to get started in arm wrestling. I still go to musty basements. We haven't evolved out of that yet. But he points to a guy in the corner, and the guy is about 80 years old, and he's like, why don't you start with him? And I am 6'3", and at the time about 250 pounds. I still am. I don't know why I said at the time, and I'm like, that is my grandfather. I am going to break him if I arm wrestle him. But I'm like, I'm new, so I'm not gonna like argue, and I'll be like, all right, I'll just let him do whatever he needs. That'll be a warm up or whatever. So I go over the table. This guy's maybe 5'5", and again about 80 years old. And we grip up, and I'm like, all right, easy now. No one's going to the hospital today. And then he goes, are you good? And I go, yeah, whenever you want to go, I guess. And oh, boom, cracks me, rips me over. I'm like, oh my God, hanging on for dear life. And he just looks at me and just like
Who was
Stares
it?
into
Norm
my
Devio? Was it Fitzsimmons? Who was it?
Yes, you nailed it, man. Norm freaking Devio. It was Norm Devio, which I didn't know at the time, and a lot of you may not know, but he's 80 years old, but he is like the dude. He was the guy to beat for years and years, and he's still super strong, like doing like flag poles, sideways, all kinds of crazy gymnast stuff. Monster. So that's probably one of the reasons I got so into arm wrestling. I left that practice, and I walked home. This is in Boston, and I felt like an out of body experience. Like, what the hell just happened? What was that? I was worried about breaking him, but I almost broke. So that was my entry into the sport, practice number 1. And my goodness. So Flimsy Initiative, don't worry. Don't worry. You are not oddly terrible at arm wrestling. You're just terrible at arm wrestling. It's not odd. We all were. And obviously Derek went on to become elite, and I'm on my way up the ladder as well. So you're gonna make it, buddy. You're gonna make it. Like Jack Coben said, big guy doesn't always win. Ain't that the truth? So
It's true.
yeah. So we are a bit over time now. Derek, do you have anything else to share, or any other posts you want to get into before we sign off here?
No, man. If you guys haven't had a second, go check out the North vs. South live stream that was up. I know Nick Postal filmed it, and that's on ArmTube. He'll be posting that. He's real quick about it. And then also Benji Mack live streamed it on his channel. We need to make some moderators on here in your trial. Do you have moderators in here?
No, not yet, man.
Yeah, you got to, whoever's here consistently, make some moderators in here so they can start sharing links and stuff during the chat. But yeah, you guys check out the North vs. South stuff. It was awesome seeing all the California guys. It was Southern California versus Northern California was the matchups. So it was really fun. We duked it out here. I mean, I didn't arm wrestle. I just sat and yelled, but we had a great time. Ryan shouting out the AW Switch. You guys, if you guys want to buy shirts, hats, stickers, and like that, we're dropping the Texas arm wrestling shirts actually this week. So you guys pre-order those. We only got like 30 shirts pre-ordered right now to see how many people are buying them. So order them quick before they sell out. Discount code AW Derek. Go ahead and use that. Save yourself 15% if you guys want. And then yeah, all that social media stuff and whatnot. But definitely check out the AW Switch if you guys want to get shirts, hats, or stickers. That's all I got, man. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Is gonna be on my channel, by the way. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, every Monday, 6 p.m. East real time, aka Eastern time, or 3 p.m. Pacific time, aka fake time. And it's going to be Derek's channel. We bounce back and forth. Might have a cool guest for you. So keep an eye out for that. Everyone who tuned in, who commented, who liked, thank you guys. You're making this possible. You're the reason we're back here every week because that's what we're doing it for. It's only fun if it's a community effort. And to all the super chatters and super sticker people, you didn't have to, but you did anyway. So thank you so much.
This is a big day.
I really appreciate it.
First super chat day. See, you get all flustered and all rosy cheeked and embarrassed. This is great. The super chats are great, guys. This is great for the first.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hand. Okay,
I never know what to do. Never know what to do. I'm telling you, you never get used to it.
I know. I don't know what the appropriate. I don't know. I didn't see that coming. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Head over to I'm not sure whose channel it on this time. Maximum Bang Monday. Just type that into the search bar. It's either Uncle John or Aussie. Let them know we sent you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, Monday, Derek's channel, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We will see you guys there. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one.